Reverend Debra Desmarais.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Anthony. It's always a pleasure to be here with such esteemed people, workers and the like, and all of you are also doing so much loving work in your many, many varied ways. It's all seen by Spirit. Don't ever feel discouraged that it doesn't count, because it does. This morning we're going to look at faith and freedom. And the scripture is actually about faith, chapter 41 of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. A flowing spring that people called the Healing Fount was near Chrysopolis. And all the people thought that at a certain time of the year, their deity came down and gave a virtue to the waters of the fount, and that the sick who would then plunge into the fount and wash would be made whole. About the fount, a multitude of people were waiting for the Holy One to come and potentize the waters of the fount, and the blind, the lame, the deaf, the dumb, and those obsessed, were there. And Jesus, standing in the midst of them, exclaimed, "Behold the spring of life. These waters that will fail are honored as the special blessing of your God. From whence do healing virtues come? Why is your God so partial with his gifts? Why does he bless the spring today and then tomorrow take his blessings all away? The deity of power would fill these waters full of healing virtue every day. Hear me, you sick, disconsolate. The virtue of this fount is not a special gift of God. Faith is the healing power of every drop of the waters of this spring. And he who believes with all of his heart that he will be made whole when he has washed, and he will be whole, and he may wash at any time. Let everyone who has his faith in God and in himself plunge in these waters now and wash." And many of the people plunged into the crystal fount, and they were healed. And then there was a rush, for all the people were inspired with faith, and each one strove to be among the first to wash, lest all the virtue be absorbed. And Jesus saw a little child, weak, faint, helpless, sitting all alone beyond the surging crowd, and there was none to help her to the fount. And Jesus said, "My little one, why do you sit and wait? Why not arise and hasten to the fount and wash and be made whole?" The child replied, "I need not haste. The blessings of my Father in the sky are measured not in tiny cups. They never fail. Their virtues are the same forevermore. When these, whose faith is weak and who must haste to wash for fear their faith will fail, have all been cured, these waters will be just as powerful for me. Then I can go and stay a long, long time within the blessed waters of the spring." And Jesus said, "Behold a master soul. She came to earth to teach men the power of faith." And then he lifted up the child and said, "Why wait for anything? The very air we breathe is filled with the balm of life. Breathe in the balm of life in faith and be made whole. The child breathed in the balm of life and faith, and she was well. The people marveled much at what they heard and saw, and they said, "This man must surely be the God of health made flesh." And God said, "The fount of life is not a little pool. It is as wide as are the spaces of the heavens. The waters of the fount are love. The potency is faith. And he who plunges deep into the living springs in living faith may wash away his guilt and be made whole and freed from sin." Faith is a mystery for many people who do not understand that faith is the magic wand to create what we will in our life. Faith is the biggest lesson for most to us, but it is essential for aligning with the Creator. It is the missing link, but as we choose to use it, the great wonders begin. New wonders open up as we see things through another level through our eyes of truth and eyes of faith as we leave limitations behind. Faith is a freedom to our soul. Have the faith of a mustard seed. Remember the story? And you can move mountains, and the mustard seed is a very, very tiny seed. Webster's dictionary states, hope is a belief that something good may happen, and faith is belief, confidence, and loyalty. Faith is represented in the fifth throat chakra of communication, freedom of speech, expression of beliefs, confidently, loyalty to be depended upon, keeping one's word, keeping the faith, integrity, appreciation, sureness, devotion, honesty, constancy, law, love, trust. What emotions come up with these key words? Think about them, meditate on them. Blue is the basic color of healing and is the ray of Jesus Christ. Our country's founders demonstrated tremendous faith in creating a new nation with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This wonderful experiment of freedom, of power to the people who hire senators, Congress, presidents to run our country for the people. They know that they knew they may be signing their own death warrants, all those who signed the Declaration of Independence. And they were putting their homes and loved ones in grave danger by signing this piece of parchment to birth a new concept of living. In the movie or play 1776, did anybody see it? I would highly suggest it. Gave us a taste of the humid weather and the rising tempers in getting the document written, and by Jefferson. And one of them was newly married and it was hard for him to focus. They were having difficulty with the timing. And many of the signers of this traitorous to the English Declaration, they did lose their homes and their riches and their lands. And loved ones were burned in churches where they had run to for refuge. Freedom does not come cheaply. Even today, we have ambassadors of truth and freedom, our military everywhere, protecting our borders. In a popular rock song, the lyrics flow, Tom Petty, you don't have to live like a refugee. Everyone has had to fight to be free. Wherever we live in the world or universe, we are free in our minds to think what we will. By creating more of heaven's reality in our world, how we live and move, and the rules we live by in society and culture, this is our choice, our challenge. Is our faith in God strong enough to support our readiness for freedom? All of us know someone or of someone who has answered the call to protect America's freedom. They are honored this day as we celebrate a new vision that was foreseen by our nation's forefathers for a better world. Many of them were Unitarians, the Freemason orders, very visionary and ahead of their time in their ideas. You know how Washington, D.C. is put together. There is a structure to where the roads go and to where they all point to. It's very spiritual. They knew the timing was crucial if a new country was to be formed. There was a great duality of thinking also between the northern and the southern states. But they still figured it out, got it put together with the basics, and then later there are many, many, many amendments, that were put in. Now we are the caretakers and the nurturers of this and citizens of this country. We were born in July in the sign of Cancer, a water sign of emotional processing, and we call on Archangel Gabriel, who is the archangel of the water element here at this time. The mothering and caring attitudes ruled by the moon of healing qualities. There is a reason. The archangel of water, or it's Gabriel or Gabriel. Do our emotions rule us? Or do we control them? Are we grown up and aware of our earthly responsibilities as well as being loyal to our spiritual beliefs? We are called to have faith in our roles, to do what is right for body and soul, and for all we are responsible for. No one can give you the answers to your truth that is between you and God. The wheels turning through mud and muck, they move slowly, but faith hones and cleans. And they move faster and swifter, and doubts fly. We are sped upon our path back to God. Meditate daily. Have faith that even as you rise from sleep to greet the new day, you will rise from doubts and disharmony, being whole and healed, raising the vibrations of all around you. In doing so, faith is the cornerstone of all spiritual attainment. Envision it, prepare the way, build it in faith and freedom. In the Bhagavad Gita, 500 BCE, he whose joy is within whose pleasure is within, whose light is within. That devotee, being well established in the Supreme, attains to absolute freedom. I'm going to end with a little part from our Reverend Roberta Johnson lesson that I love her channeled work. She did for many years at First Spiritualist Church, and this was a lesson of spiritual law called Living Faith. And we're going to go to just this paragraph. As soon as life comes into your life in a vivid manner, you will find that you are able to make it rain or shine, instantly heal, have money in the bank, and a happy relationship on your job. Your bills will be paid, and you will have your slightest desire fulfilled as fast as the universe can fulfill them for you. Faith is one of the most tremendous forces that you have ever imagined, and it will become clear to you as you study its true meaning that you have it so much as a part of you, and that every breath you take is completely dependent upon the existence of faith. There is no action that is not based on faith. There is no perception you can have or create which is not based upon the continued experience of it. Be strong, be courageous, have faith. God bless you all, now and always.